I got a surprise saber delivery from my friend Dave over at Saberbelt, and this thing is a beast. I'm going to tell you all about it today on Darth Rage Reviews.
Darth Rage Reviews, your source for the Force? Nah, for the Republic!
Greetings, Force fans, and welcome to another episode of Darth Rage Reviews, your source for the Force. So surprise saber deliveries are always a wonderful thing. Big thanks to Dave over at Saberbelt. There is a link in the description to his website, saberbelt.com. Neat little collection of Nexus LGT and TXQ sabers, a lot of cannon hilts, a lot of custom hilts, some really cool replica lightsabers there. Make sure to go and check them out. Link in the description. Anything you buy there, you want to use code DARTHRAGE, DARTHRAGE. You're going to get 5% off. So, Dave reached out to me. One of the most recent replica sabers that I owned was the Baylan Skoll that TXQ had made. Nexus LGT had also made a version of it. I had their V1, which was an awesome looking hilt, but accuracy-wise, there were some issues with it. So they have come through and updated this, and Dave was so kind to gift me with their V2 Baylan Skoll Lightsaber, the weathered version. This thing is a beast. Let me get this metal case out of the way. Look at this saber. So some big changes to this hilt. The most noticeable is up here on the top. It's kind of got this triangular shape to the emitter that is much more accurate to the show. It's just a really unique shape. In the V1, which I wish I still had so I could compare these, but I don't still have that lightsaber. I've since gifted that off into the lightsaber universe. But it was all just round like the base here on the top. This is much more accurate. The other big change is in the pommel here. This huge, hefty, I believe this thing is actual brass. This is as heavy as some lightsabers that I own. But again, much more accurate to what the lightsaber in the show was. And I actually went back and watched a couple of the Baylan fights, well, all the Baylan fights. In the one with Ahsoka, there's a scene where he's literally, they've got the camera framed with him, and he's kind of holding the lightsaber like this, and you can see the pommel here, and how it is this brass-colored pommel. But yes, this thing is awesome, awesome. It's, I think, a little over 13 inches long. By far the heaviest hilt that I have. This thing's probably, I'll have to weigh it, but I'm guessing it's probably about 7 pounds, 8 pounds. When you swing this thing around, you want to hold it with two hands. I mean, it's a hard saber to swing with one hand. It feels like you need to. And again, when I went back and watched all the Baylan fight scenes, he's pretty much double fisting this thing the whole time. And it's more of a brute. You can see in the fight with Ahsoka, he is just like wailing on her with this thing. He's using the power and his size, and this hilt is much more reflective of that. So why don't we take a pause and take a look, at exactly what we've got lining up in this hilt. It's really, really cool. So let's take a break real quick and set the camera up different so you guys can see some close-ups of this. So this is really a beautiful hilt. You can see the changes that they've made primarily up in the emitter up here. It was just a standard cylinder, but they've kind of triangulated it out. Much bulkier, but much more accurate. And then this base of the pommel here, this thing is a solid brass piece. It's super heavy. It also resonates the sound very, very well. Screws on and off very nicely. They also changed the D-ring on the bottom, as I understand. So all this makes for a much more accurate looking saber. It's true to what it looked like in the show. I actually paused the show a couple times just to compare it, and I mean, this thing is spot on. This thing is also hefty. Every time that I swing this around, and I say that I swing this, I don't spin this, because this thing is a two-handed saber by all means. So all of these TXQ replica hilts now come with removable chassis. So chassis pops right out, the easy access to the battery, charging port, access to the SD card that's right there. So if you're wanting to change any of the sound fonts, it's all really easy. And then it plugs right into the top of the hilt like so. Very simple process. They've made these things very easy to use, very user-friendly. And the weathering on this is outstanding. This thing just looks like it's been used. It looks in universe. Excellent, excellent hilt. All right, so this thing comes, preloaded. This is the SNV4 version of, it's basically TXQ's version of a Xenopixel. It comes preloaded with fonts, blade styles, and different ignitions in there. In addition, you can upload your own fonts, blade styles, ignitions, things like that. You can adjust this all. It's very user-friendly, so it's nowhere near as difficult as trying to update a CFX or a Profi lightsaber. Very user-friendly. It's just an easy entry into NeoPixel. But yeah, let's take a look at some of the things that it's got. This one is a one button, and I think if that's the only thing that if I could change on this would somehow make it a two button saber. I just really enjoy a two button setup better, but that's beggars can't be choosers. So let's power this on and see what we got.
Power off.
Oh, sorry, just powered it off. Let's power it
on.
So let me see if I can get this thing a little bit louder.
Mute on. High volume.
High volume. There we go. All right, so let's see some of the fonts that we've got.
Dark Sith Red.
Gesture controls are included in this as well. Your gesture controls are kind of, I love them and I hate them. I tend to love them more than I hate them, but yeah, they're kind of standard on most sabers now. Palpatine, or that might be Dark Ray. That's Dark Empress Ray.
Cal Kestis.
Cal. I love the sound of his lightsaber. It's just really cool. And all these, of course, come with songs as well. I think it's... Yeah. If you tilt it down, press the button and spin, it'll start the music for it. So just going to go through and count the fonts here. So I think we're on number 4 now. That's Yoda. 5, 6.
I am the Inquisitor.
7.
Tell me, is this training?
8.
Training? That master wouldn't do.
9.
I am told it is the dark saber.
10.
Master Money.
11.
General Kenobi.
12.
Quinlan Pause.
13.
Reborn.
14.
The Butcher.
15.
Temple Guard.
16.
Star Killer.
17.
Ventress.
18.
Leia.
19.
To the Horde.
20.
Prepare a boarding.
21.
Sora.
22.
Anakin.
23.
Ayla Sakura.
24.
Dappa Balaba.
25.
Kenobi.
26.
Count Dooku.
27.
Dark Sith Red.
It's 20, 27, 28 sound fonts on there. Comes preloaded. I mean, that's pretty much every lightsaber sound effect that you would want. I feel like this saber deserves a 36-inch blade. Dave was very, very polite, and he sent me both a 36 and a 32. This just does not feel right with me. If it's a smaller blade, it needs to have the big boy in it. It's just such a hefty hilt. And I told Dave the other day I couldn't stop, swinging this thing around. But it's not like it's not like spinning a saber. It's more like practicing with the sword. And I feel like just the size of it and the heft of it gives it more of that kind of feel. Let's look at some of the... Oh, sorry. So some of the different ignitions and blade styles that you've got as well. So you hold this down, I think it's like 3 seconds.
Ignition 2.
So that's the second ignition. Let me turn these lights off. It'll make it a little bit better. And these never look anywhere near as good on camera as they do in person. So.
Ignition 3.
And then different blade styles as well.
Basic 2.
Basic 2. It's the same ignition, but the blade style will be a little different. So this is just the standard blade style. Let me get it to a different ignition. That one's a little bit much.
Ignition 4.
And then different blade style.
Basic 3.
So that's the ignition, and then that blade style kind of pulses. So this all comes preloaded in here. It's very, very simple to utilize. It's a user-friendly system. It's a great entry level into a NeoPixel lightsaber. So when you purchase one of these, you're going to get this acrylic display stand, which is very cool. He included a lightsaber belt clip with this. Very cool. You're going to get your blade plug, which is when the blade's not in there. It kind of makes it look more realistic. Charging cable as well. And you're going to get your bag of Allen wrench and different screws. So everything you need to play out of the box. It's just a really, really cool lightsaber. This hilt, I mean, this is... TXQ has really kicked up their game. And you know, we've talked about this. I've talked about this with many of my saber friends. The difference between these and like custom lightsabers is getting smaller and smaller. You're able to really get something that a couple years ago would have been $1,000 custom lightsaber, and you're getting it from a mass-produced lightsaber manufacturer now. This is what I hate about gesture controls. Sometimes when you're just wanting to turn the saber off, you'll inevitably turn it on. But I mean, each one of these, removable chassis. Once again, removable. What did I say about not liking gesture control sometimes? So easy access to the battery, to the SD card, to the gesture controls to turn it on and off stupidly all the time. Let me turn this thing, power this thing off. Power off.
Power off.
There we go. Removable chassis. I mean, this is a couple years ago. This was only state-of-the-art custom lightsabers would have this stuff, and now it's on one of these wonderful mass-produced, very affordable hilts from TXQ. So go check out Saberbelt.com. Normally I'd tell you use code Darth Rage, but right now, for the month of April, this saber is 10% off automatically, I believe. If it's not Dave, you're going to have to put something in the comments. But I'm almost positive this saber is 10% off because it's one of his new arrivals. This is the Baylan Skoll weathered lightsaber. This is from Saberbelt.com, and this thing can be yours. Just go check out their website. Really good prices right now, the month of April, on sale, 10% off. You don't have to do anything. So, Dave, thank you once again for this. This is now my newest, most used saber. I've been playing with this thing nonstop. I cannot stop swinging this thing around. So thank you, Dave. Y'all make sure to go check this out on his website, Saberbelt.com. Link in the description to it. This is the new revised Baylan Skoll lightsaber. This thing is a beast. You need to add this to your collection. Hope you enjoyed this, guys. If you did, leave me a comment, leave me a like. Just do something down there. As always, I'm Darth Rage. This is Darth Rage Reviews, your source for the Force.
The circle is now complete. When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master.